Good. Um, Omer, did you want to kick us off today?
Sure. Thank you everyone for coming to the webinar. This is for our customers and close prospective customers. This is Ömer speaking with Qooper. Great to see my team. And Kassie, thank you for your time to work with the team to put this together.
Absolutely. Thank you. Hi, everyone, and welcome to our first admin training webinar. So we'll be talking about mentor training and management strategies today. My name is Kassie Little. I have over 10 years of experience working with mentorship programs as a mentee, mentor, program administrator, and now customer success manager and professional trainer with Qooper. These are tips and strategies that come from my experience as an admin and highlights from Qooper's successful customers and case studies over the years. So thank you so much for joining us today. All right, before we train mentors, we have to have mentors. So we thought it would be really helpful to start off with a conversation on mentor recruitment. First, we want to show value of mentors spending their time with your program through these benefits of the mentor experience. So your mentors will gain leadership experience. They can leverage groups for networking opportunities, put their name out there, get to know others in the company, and break down some silos. They can also develop soft skills. So that would include communication, problem solving, facilitating, relationship building, flexibility. The list goes on and on. So many skills that can be built through the mentorship experience. And then overall satisfaction. Engaging in meaningful conversations and building connections can lead to an increase in job satisfaction, meaning within their vocation, and just overall quality of life, and developing confidence through this role as well. Having other mentors share their personal growth and experience can also be very helpful in the recruitment process. So if you have an event to recruit mentors and mentees, if you can have a few like veteran mentees and mentors come and share their experience and growth throughout the program, that can be very valuable. Hearing from a peer can always have a more lasting impact than hearing a pitch from a program admin. So think about your resources, leverage those, and bring them in to have those conversations. And then when possible, show tangible thanks to your mentors. So consider some of these benefits or incentives. The first one would be an outstanding mentor award at mentorship graduation, maybe a stipend if your company and program are open to that, professional development funding. This is really mutually beneficial because not only are the mentors getting something back from devoting their time to your program, but it's also going to be helpful for the company as well, as far as bringing in new skills and some ROI there, while developing some personal skills for the mentor as well. So it's a win all the way around. And finally, the last option would be a lead mentor position. So we'll dive a little bit deeper into two of these. The Outstanding Mentor Award can be really fun, honestly. You can have selection based on your experience working with them as an admin. You can also have a quick Google form where you can receive nominations from your mentees. That's probably my favorite way to do it because then you can also share some of those meaningful experiences and kind words with the mentor as well. And then just overall engagement. Are they logging on to Qooper? Are they keeping up with all of their action items? And then you can reward them for that. This award would be presented at your mentorship graduation, and it could be shared on your company's social media outlets as a great marketing tactic, or it could also be something that the mentor shares on their personal LinkedIn as well. Just a pat on the back for a job well done. This could really be as simple as a certificate or as intricate as an actual like physical award that they could hang on the wall, put on a shelf, whatever the case may be. You can also offer lead mentor positions within your program. So this could be volunteer or paid, again, depending on the budget within your program. Think of them as a guide for your new mentors. They are basically using their experience and being able to provide a little additional support to the new mentors who are coming on, which can also relieve a little bit of bandwidth and time that you're spending as a program admin, which is also extremely helpful. In addition to that, mentors may provide feedback to a peer that they may not be comfortable sharing with an admin, so keep that in mind as well. It could be a really great support system for you as well. The position can help with mentor retention and development because there is an opportunity for promotion and incentive for mentors to do their best work. So they could have an extra line on their resume or CV based on this position and grow and also grow within leadership potential and show that potential to the higher ups within your company. So that is also very helpful and beneficial for the mentor as well. If this is something that sounds good to you, that you may want to actually adopt into your program, here are some titles that you could think about and consider. It would be a senior mentor, maybe a lead mentor, mentoring expert, or a mentor coordinator. Now that you have mentors, let's talk about onboarding and training. Before the first match, it's so important for mentors to complete an onboarding or training process. It makes sure that they're aware of expectations, goals of the program, and puts a face to a name for you as the admin. This can be in a myriad of different mediums. So you can have it virtually, which if your company is global on different time zones or just in different regions, it can provide space for everyone to come together at the same time and not have to commute or fly people in. However, in person does offer a little bit more opportunity for connection within the program. So you kind of have to weigh your options here and what will best serve you and your program. We also have a hybrid option where you can host a session in person, but then record it if your office has the technological capabilities to do so. And then, of course, the best practice is always to have a recording available after the fact. If people are out of the office sick or on PTO, they can always go back and watch that and still get all of the information. So at this point, I want to take a pause and poll the audience. How often do your mentors review mentor training and policy? Is this something that you do once in onboarding, maybe once a year, or is it something that you do recurring at the beginning of each program and cohort?
Okay, we still have some answers coming in, so maybe let's wait for another like 10, 15 seconds.
Perfect. Thank you, Sunche.
Yeah, of course. Okay, I'm ending the poll now.
Awesome. Love this. Okay. So we're seeing a lot of responses being at the beginning of each program. I think that's so valuable because you're always coming back, you're circling back and saying, hey, here are the goals, here's the mission, here are the values, and let's just bring this up. Let's refresh your memory, how to use Qooper, how to do all of these things. So that's great. If you're offering it once in onboarding or once per year, that's also great, whatever works for your program. But especially as you are building relationships with your mentors, maybe something to consider in offering a training a little more frequently. Thank you all. Awesome. So what do we include in this onboarding training? First off, as Qooper customers, thank you so much. We definitely want to include a demo just to make sure that everyone is comfortable using the platform. If the mentors are comfortable using it, they can also answer any questions that their mentees may have, and that just drives engagement up more and more as time goes on. So providing a demo is going to be first and foremost very important. And thankfully, you have a dedicated customer success manager who can walk you through that as well. So feel free to lean on them for support through this area of training, host a kickoff call, whatever that looks like for you. Through that demo, we can show mentors resources within Qooper, make sure that they know what's available in the learning section. They're aware that steps are going to come through to them to remind them of these agenda items and any reminders, activities that may be coming up throughout the program. And then also the mentor network, a great opportunity for them to ask questions and lean on their peers who are also serving as mentors in your program. After the Qooper demo, I also highly recommend that you take a little bit of time and share some policy, resources, stakeholders, or helpful connections and contacts to have within your organization. And then, of course, tips for successful mentoring. So let's dive into each of these a little bit more. Within policy development, this really provides structure and outlines expectations for your mentors. So from the very beginning, they'll be aware of your mission, values, and goals of the program. And then you can also address any recurring problems or concerns, even share some HR rules and reminders of boundaries, etc. And then you can also share expectations and operations. So within this area, think through how often should connections meet, how long should your meetings last. Response time expectations can be very important to enforce and just give a little bit of parameter on. So obviously, if they're on PTO or something like that, that response time will be a little bit longer. But making sure that a mentee isn't going weeks without hearing from their mentor is also very important. And then expectations within using Qooper. So that would be tracking meetings, including tags and topics on everything, posting in groups. This is a great way to increase engagement as well. We'll talk about that a little bit more in our presentation a little bit later. At Qooper, we do recommend that our programs are mentee-led. However, just training our mentors on these areas can make sure that they're trickling down that information to the mentees and doing an extra little push so we can gather as much data as possible. And finally, what to cover in meetings and where to find that information. Hint in the steps. So next, you would provide some resources for them. So a program at a glance can be extremely helpful. This is due dates for activities, meetings, upcoming events, if you want to provide a little more structure for your participants. You can also provide tracking documents and resources if applicable. This is especially helpful for programs that have mentors matched with multiple mentees, providing some spreadsheet templates and things like that to help them keep up with their contact with mentees. Action items can be very helpful in keeping them organized. And then also sharing agendas, any homegrown resources, if you've created any company resources, links, to company social media or LinkedIn pages. And all of these things can be housed in the mentor network. So at any point, they can go back, visit, and access all of these resources in one place. It can also be helpful to put together frequently asked questions and answers. This is something that your lead mentor could take the lead on. As a seasoned veteran, they know what these frequently asked questions are and can put together a quick guide to help close the gap for those new mentors as well. And of course, offering important contacts and stakeholders within the program is always good practice as well. Now to cover some tips for successful mentoring that you can share with your mentors. Just like anyone, people tend to open up to people who they feel most comfortable with. So having this idea and feeling of personal connection with your mentee and mentor is so important. So a little push to build a personal connection can go a very long way. Also, being sure to be inclusive. Mentors must accept and embrace their connection as they are for who they are. Next up is being prepared. Preparation is key for everything. Qooper and/or you as the admin have provided agendas for the mentors, so encourage them to utilize these resources, but also feel free to add a little bit. Be creative, expand, have fun, and make it your own, while also trying to stick to the goals and values of the program. And finally, goal setting. If you have a goal set, your mentor is going to know what the mentee wants from the connection from the very beginning, and it kind of gives them a place to help drive that connection and drive the conversations. So if mentors aren't fully confident that they know how to guide those conversations and work toward those goals, giving them an opportunity to ask you for help so that they can effectively guide their connection is also very helpful. You can also have your seasoned mentors share their experiences, what worked, what didn't. You can also encourage them to share any resources that they may have compiled on their own to use with their connections. I will say, as an admin, some of my best resources came from my mentors. Sometimes I would tweak them a little bit. Sometimes they were perfect just as they were, and we could share those and make the mentoring experience even that much easier. So we talked about onboarding training, but what about ongoing training? Is it really necessary? I'm glad you asked. Let's talk through it. Ongoing trainings can be so beneficial, and here are just some things that you can consider and some positives that come from an ongoing mentor training experience. So first off, it can serve as an icebreaker for you. It allows for connection, humanization of you as an admin, and let's be honest, a little bit of fun here, getting to know your mentors. It also builds rapport and community. Mentors will get to know each other and can support each other more fully. It can promote engagement and lessen the divide and allow connection within the admins and mentors. And overall just lead to more satisfaction and fulfillment in your role as an admin. Getting to know people, getting to have some meaningful conversations can really help in your fulfillment and overall job satisfaction as well. This also provides a great opportunity for sharing testimonials. You can go around, have the mentor share some highs and lows, and then offer opportunities for people to learn from their experiences as well. And then, of course, an opportunity to share resources. So you can have different departments within your organization come in to share company or institutional resources when applicable and appropriate. You can also share Qooper tips and tricks along the way, and any trackers or other helpful items that may support your mentors. Finally, open communication is essential, and this provides a great opportunity to facilitate more conversations with your mentor staff. So you can share program announcements with them, allow mentors to ask any questions, or even seek guidance from other mentors or you as the admin. Here are a few other development opportunities if you're looking for them. That could be one-on-one or small group sessions with your mentor staff. This is really dependent on your bandwidth and the size of your program. If you are one of our enterprise customer with hundreds of mentors, this may not be something that is feasible for you. However, if you have a smaller program, this could be something that you may be able to work into your model. So with this, you kind of have this idea of tiered mentorship, where you as the program admin are investing in your mentors and teaching them what it looks like to be a good mentor. And then they can mirror that for their mentees. So this is a great model. I used this in all of the programs that I managed, and it was amazing. You can use this to develop your team of mentors, answer any individual questions that they may have, and really start to build that personal connection with your mentors. We'll talk about why this is very important a little bit later in the presentation as well. If you're doing a one-on-one, it could be as quick as 15 minutes. Normally, that's plenty of time to get through your action items, get any updates, answer any questions. However, if you are having a small group session, it could take a little bit more time just to make sure that everyone gets a chance to speak within the room. So a 30-minute meeting could be more helpful there. You can also offer office hours. This is a little more conducive to a larger program, but could also be very helpful for a small program as well. This can be a 30-minute session, bi-weekly or monthly, where you share program updates, allow mentors to ask questions, and share feedback. And you can always offer breakout rooms or private appointments for more sensitive topics. So just opening up your calendar, making sure that your mentors know that you're available to support them through whatever that looks like. All right. So we would be amiss if we didn't take a moment to tell you and remind you to utilize these great resources within the Qooper platform. So the next two slides are just reminders to utilize the full capabilities of the platform, including our group mentoring circles. So for this, you can have your mentors create a group around a skill or area of interest and have your mentors lead the charge. So they can start a conversation within the group, maybe even plan an event, a coffee hour or a happy hour, and mentees will be sure to follow. If the mentors are modeling that engagement, mentees will follow suit as well. Also, the steps feature is so helpful as an admin. You can set them all up at the beginning of the program and not have to worry about scheduling emails and sending emails as the dates arise, because we have the triggers and the scheduling feature. So definitely load your steps with helpful agendas, reminders, and schedule those to be distributed at the time that you feel is most relevant. All right, so now let's talk about mentors as an asset. Don't just think of them as kind of a means for your program. Think of them as your eyes and ears on the front lines. They're going to hear concerns and needs way more often than you do as a program admin because they are in the trenches with the mentees. Some of my best ideas and developments in my programs have always come from like my mentors' insights. So they would have a concern or notice a pattern, and we would brainstorm together to meet that need and fill that gap. So how can mentors share these items with you as the program administrator? Great question. I'm glad you asked. At first, you want to make sure and create a safe space for them to share and offer as many opportunities as possible for mentors to share that information with you. So that's where those recurring trainings can be very helpful because the mentors will have access to you more often. And again, having that relationship built with your mentors will also give them more space and comfort with approaching you with some of these items. I have done a lot of talking, so I would love to hear from you all. Do you have any other best practices or anything that you have found helpful in managing mentors? You can answer in the chat, or I believe we can actually open the mic as well, so you can share within the webinar.
Yes, I can allow to talk for anyone who'd like to contribute. If you can put it in the chat or raise your hand, maybe there must be the option, maybe.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, hi. How are you doing?
Hi, I'm good. My name's Sonal. I'm the Senior Mentoring Officer at the University of Westminster in London. I run a very large program across the university. And one way that we find is where mentees haven't filled in their logs, we then reach out to mentors with like a courtesy call. So even though there's 3 of us that run the program, so we do actually do that hands-on calling, because during COVID, obviously everything was very hands-off, and it took some time to get everyone back into face-to-face. Still, a lot of people weren't ready to have those face-to-face meetings, and we found some mentors just sort of losing mentors. So in order, during our cohort, we have 2 cohorts, and now midway through a cohort, we will reach out to mentors where we don't see any action, as you would say, in terms of logs, etc., being filled out by the mentees, just to check that everything's fine. And we've seen a really good response from mentors of that feeling like they're being cared for. So yeah, that's what we do.
Thank you so much for sharing that. That's amazing. Yeah. Anytime that you can reach out and offer that personal touch of, hey, we see you. How's it going? Sometimes that's enough to light a fire and get the mentor back engaged and going again. And encouraging the mentee also to go in, log their meetings, make sure that you can see everything as an admin. It's very helpful. Awesome. Just checking the chat, making sure there's nothing anyone else has shared. Does anyone else have anything to share? Okay. Thank you again, Sonal, for sharing with us. It's very helpful to hear. All right, so I also wanted to take a moment and share one of my favorite tools that I used as a program administrator. Dream sessions are something I try to use a version of at the beginning and end of a program. And I typically ask questions to gauge, what do participants want out of this program, and what can we do better as program admins? So This example is an end of program dream session. So feel free to follow the prompts and kind of reflect on your own program if you'd like, or feel free to just listen to what the questions are and why I chose these questions to implement into this feedback gathering tool. All right, so within a dream session, I typically have 4 different answers, 4 different questions, and I've done this in a variety of ways. In a very small program that I started with, we just had different colored sticky notes, and they would write their answers down there. We've also had big boards. It's kind of like a flip board, but really big notebook paper. And we would have 4 different corners around the room, and we would allow people to write their responses and then come back as a group and share together. You could also do this as like a group activity where you have people pair off in either virtual group settings or in small groups in person, however the medium works for you. Or you can even offer this as kind of a survey and allow people to take it home and answer the questions and then submit it back to you. Whatever you feel is the best use of your time. But typically we would walk through this activity in the last ongoing mentor training of the year. So the first question is, what is one thing that you love about our program? This gives you some positive feedback, a little pat on the back, and wholesome feelings of a job well done as the program admin. But also, you can know what's going well and what to continue to use for future programs. Our second question, tell me about a moment of impact during the program. Think here, testimonials to share with your leadership. Also, of course, a little pat on the back too for being involved in facilitating some of these impactful moments for your users. Number 3, what is something that you wish you could change, add to, or improve within the program? And is there an area that you wish the program focused on, but currently does not? This allows an opportunity for you to assess, what can we do better as a program? What are some gaps that they're seeing? And then let's brainstorm how to fix these together. Number 4 is my favorite. It could be a little controversial and has been, but this is my favorite because this is a dream session, right? So what's the point? Let's dream big. So our last question is, if you were given a wish for the program and you could add one element without the restriction of budget, time, etc., what would you ask for? Some of these items, as you can imagine, will be way out of the scope of what you can offer as a program admin, but you might be surprised how some of them are scalable and with a few small adjustments could be implemented. This is a great opportunity for you to think outside the box, challenge yourself with some new ideas, and you may also identify a few gaps here that you may be able to close with a little bit of creativity. All right. Thank you all so much for joining today. It has been a pleasure sharing a few best practices with you. And if you found this helpful and would like additional support within your program, I have good news for you. Qooper and I are offering professional training packages to support our admins. So this could include on-site or virtual mentor trainings, ideas and new initiatives tailored to your program's needs and values, even a program graduation or conclusion ceremony. The list goes on and on. And so if this is something that sounds interesting to you that you would like to explore further, here's a short list of training topics that I have offered in the past, but I'm willing and able to develop other areas if needed for your population and program to meet your needs. So for more information on our professional training package add-on, please feel free. Sunche is going to be sharing a link in the chat, and you can also check out this link here or reach out to me directly at my email, cassie@qooper.io. So we still have a few minutes, so happy to answer any questions that you may have or continue the conversation. If anyone didn't have a chance to share earlier but would like to, the floor is open. Yes, we will be sharing the recording. After the presentation is over, you will receive a follow-up email with some of the information from today that we presented and a link to watch the recording. So feel free to share with your network or any other team members that you think could benefit from this webinar. Thank you all so much. Awesome. Thank you all so much for joining. If there aren't any questions, I think we can wrap up here. And you all can have a few minutes back in your day. But thank you again so much for your time and for joining. And feel free, if you're interested in professional training, to fill out that form, and then I will be in contact in the coming days. So thank you all so much.